it's hello from me.
And it's hello from me.
So today we're in Soho, or more particularly we're in Soho Square. We're going to take a look at places which are connected with art and artists. Phil?
That's right, and we're going to start right over there. This is the bench for one of my favourite ever singers, Kirsty MacColl, who was tragically killed in the year 2000. There's the little commemorative plaque here for her, and it's got some lyrics from her song Soho Square from the album Titanic Days, an album that I absolutely recommend to anybody. Yeah, this really is a nose. Why is it here? Okay, so back in 1997, an artist called Buckley wanted to make a protest against the growing number of CCTV cameras in the area. So he put a series of casts of his own nose around, not just in Soho, in other places too, and he stuck those on the walls. I guess the idea was, it's the idea of people being nosy or sticking their nose into other people's business. For a while, people didn't really know that they were here. And there were stories that they'd been here for a long time, maybe decades even. But the best thing about these is the idea that if you find all of the 7 noses that are hidden around Soho, you will become incredibly rich.
So I'm standing opposite what used to be the Colony Room Club, which was an exclusive drinking club for artists and famous people. And you had to be a member to get inside, or you had to know a member to get inside. It was co-founded in 1948 by Sir Francis Bacon, the famous painter, and it lasted for 60 years until 2008. However, I have a personal connection to this place. I had a friend who was a theatre actress who got me in, but I did not know at the time how much of an impact it had on British culture and how interesting it was. Now, I didn't know that famous people drank there, like William Burroughs, you know, the famous American novelist. Also, David Bowie was an honorary member there. Princess Margaret, who's the Queen's sister, used to drink there a few times as well. I didn't know that in the 1990s, the young British artists like Damien Hirst, who did the shark thing, or Tracy Emin, also used to drink there. I may have actually met Tracy Emin as well, but I'm not quite sure. As I said earlier, it had quite a cultural impact. You know, there was a TV show by Matt Berry called The Toast of London, which referenced this place as the Colonial Rooms. They changed the name a little bit. And also, the novelist Stephen Fry wrote about this place in his comic novel, The Hippopotamus, but he changed the name. There's also, I believe, some pictures of the Colony Room Club in the British Museum, so you can see the huge cultural significance that this place had. So what was it like? Well, when I went there, it was a very small room, and it looked very modest. But the people there were very friendly. You know, you could talk to anyone. Everyone was very approachable. I had some lovely conversations. They didn't know who I was. I didn't know who they were. They didn't care. And nobody ever asked the question, what do you do? So I've just been to an exhibition which is a replica of the original Colony Room Club. I can't believe that Phil found this. So it's like almost like going back in time 20 years. So I was looking around and I thought the bar area, that triggers some memories. I mean, I was only there once, so I can't be sure. It was a long time ago. I seem to remember a picture of David Bowie being up there somewhere as well when I was looking at the pictures by the bar. But really, yes, it is an interesting trip down memory lane, and I think it's really interesting that this exhibition was available on the same day that I was talking about the original Colony Room that I'd been to.
We're in St Anne's Court now. From 1968 to 1981, number 17 was Trident Studios, an independent recording studio. And as you've seen from the blue plaque at the top, David Bowie recorded here two of what I think we should agree are the greatest albums of all time. The Beatles also came here. They recorded Hey Jude in these studios, and a few others for the White Album as well. Dear Prudence, Martha My Dear too. George Harrison came here later and did some recording for his solo work. But there have been plenty of other really, really famous names who've worked here. Elton John, Queen, T-Rex, Lou Reed, many, many more. Really worth paying tribute to all these people who recorded some fantastic music in these studios.
There are famously lots of lights in Carnaby Street, and they're going to need a huge energy source, so maybe it's behind me.
I'm standing in Broadwick Street and I'm in front of Julian Opie's Shider Walking 2015, which has been here since January 2016. Opie prepared for this piece of work by filming people on a treadmill. He said he wanted to make a living drawing, and this is what he produced. I absolutely love it. Now, I think a lot of people recognise Julian Opie's work from this album cover, his Best of Blur portraits. And this, since it came out in the year 2000, has been seen by at least 1 million people who bought it in the UK. But I wouldn't be surprised if even more people have seen this piece of work here. This is the Spirit of Soho mural, which was completed in 1991, and some of it is based on the design of this album cover. This is by Peter Blake and Jan Hayworth, the cover of the Beatles' 1967 album, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. You'll see here we've got the drum, they've used a clock. We've got the words Beatles here in red flowers. They've got Soho in red flowers, and some of the jacket colours are the same as well. On the left here, we've got Mozart. He's only 8 years old at that time when he came here to live in Frith Street with his family. In grey, we've got Karl Marx. In blue, Teresa Cornelis. She was a fascinating woman who spent a lot of her time living just off Soho Square, and just next to her is Giacomo Casanova. Let me tell you a little bit more about them. At the top of the mural, we've got St Anne, and the local church here, the one that's in Dean Street, is named after St Anne as well. Around the clock, we've got, as we mentioned, Mozart on the left. He was here from September 1764 until the following summer. He lived with his family, as I said. Next to him is Karl Marx. Now, Karl Marx and his family lived in a flat in Dean Street from 1851 to 56. On the hour, unfortunately it's not working today, but on the hour normally you can see Karl Marx drinking a can of Coca-Cola, which some people think is hilarious and some people definitely don't. Next to him is Therese Cornelis. She was a former opera singer, and she had a house just off Soho Square where she ran entertainment evenings for many, many years. Incredibly popular. We'll have to talk about her a lot more another time. And next to her is Giacomo Casanova. He was very, very famous for his autobiography and his numerous affairs with women. And actually, Casanova and Teresa had a child together, Sophia. The relationship didn't end very well at all, but I guess this is them in happier times. And on the hour, normally he blows her a kiss and she winks.
So, now everyone knows there are noses in Soho. So it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me. And if you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.